Hello again. We've been campers now for many years, and we're not those who have caravans and wall-to-wall carpeting and widescreen TVs. No, our only concession to modernity is a trailer tent, which we bought on eBay and has proved to be very good value. The words written by St. Paul will have some resonance, I'm sure, with the campers among us. St. Paul writes, "If the earthly tent we live in is destroyed," or put another way, when our earthly tent is torn down. This reminded me of an occasion many years ago now, when the family camped in St. David's on the Pembrokeshire Peninsula, and the weather was unkind. We had rain and wind, and there was a very real prospect that our tent, borrowed from friends, might literally be torn down. Only by hanging on to the tent frames for an hour or so was disaster averted. St. Paul, a devout Jew and later follower and advocate of Jesus, although not one of the close disciples, wrote letters in his day to encourage new Christians in their faith, saying, "In the same way God gave Jesus new life at Easter, the same holds true for you too." That's why he wrote these words, "Now we know that if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, we have a building from God, an eternal house in heaven, not built with human hands." St. Paul used to make his living from making and repairing tents. And like Vickers, he didn't receive a stipend, so he followed his trade of tent making. No surprise then that he should refer to tents when describing the new life God brings through Jesus Christ. I wonder how much people think about the afterlife these days. Maybe for many in our land, life is so exciting, so fulfilling and busy that there is no time to dwell on such a thing. If truth be told, most people are skeptical. That is, if the earthly tent we live in is destroyed, well, there's no eternal house in heaven. Everything we have and know is built by human hands. The planet Venus can be seen in the night sky at various times of the year. It shines brightly, though millions of miles away. And in 2012, we saw Venus pass in front of the sun. Venus about the size of the Earth, like a pinhead, gracefully passed in front of the sun. Now, if God can arrange that, surely he can raise the dead also. Look at a picture of the human brain close up. It's truly amazing. The human brain has 100 billion cells. If God can create a human brain with 100 billion cells, could he not raise Jesus Christ? And could he not also build an eternal house in heaven, not built by human hands? When the Israelites travelled through the desert before they crossed the Red Sea and the waves parted, they lived in tents until they occupied a permanent dwelling place in the land of Canaan. So they no longer had the need of tents. Perhaps this was in Paul's mind when he said, "When our earthly tent is destroyed, we have a hope of a permanent dwelling place from God." Christians, together with people of other faiths, see this life as a preparation for the life to come. Comparing this life to the life which is promised is like comparing the difference in size between Venus and the sun. It's that different, that broader, that expansive, that instead of the tent we use in this life, we're going to inherit a dwelling place not made with human hands, but eternal in the heavens. So immense and mysterious are these things about which we think and speak. We can only, like St. Paul, use metaphors and pictures to describe it, to come anywhere near it. Like a seed being placed in the darkness of the ground and then springing up and blossoming. like a tent being replaced by a firm building. What St. Paul describes for us is the Christian hope, hope in which Christians down through the ages have believed. And through this life, it is this hope that keeps us going, a hope that God will fulfill his promise. Not long before Jesus left the disciples for the last time, he said that he'd had a special place for them where they would join him. His disciples said, "Well, that's all very well, Lord, but we don't know how to get there. We don't know the way." And Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth and the life. Follow me, and I will show you the way home."